Can you dig it?
Oh my gosh, it's been a while since we've done this.
Oh my God, yes, we're back.
It's forever. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Windy City Digit Jets. We're back.
Back in black.
After a long hiatus, we're finally back. And fitting that we decided to come back on the day that the Chicago Bears opened the 2023 season by opening training camp today. So, first of all, Vic, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
It's been a while. Like, we talk offline all the time, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know where you've been.
A little crazy, hasn't it been?
Yeah, it's nice to see you again, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you online.
It's been since
good to talk sports with you.
March 11th, maybe.
That sounds all right.
That sounds all right. Fell off the face of the planet.
So thanks everyone that had been watching us. We hope you're coming back eventually. Hope we'll find us on here. So, look, Vic, I'd like to talk about with the Chicago Bears. It's been a while since we've talked about the Bears. I think last time we talked, it was about when they made the trade to Carolina.
Yes, it was. It was for DJ
Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time we talked about it.
Man, we're close, DJ.
So a lot of storylines at the Bears opening training camp. Let's start with what you thought of the offseason.
Oh, the offseason. Obviously, I think we would all like things to happen a lot quicker. But I think the Bears are doing a really smart job of using their money wisely, not trying to put money into guys that are older. They're trying to build it the right way through the draft. That's why I think we're taking some time on adding another defensive lineman. Now, of course, they had so many holes to fill that I think people were wondering why didn't they pick a defensive lineman sooner. I think that's been the biggest debate, I think, amongst Bears fans. Why didn't they pick a defensive lineman sooner? What were your thoughts?
I think Poles is a very smart general manager. I think
he's shrewd.
I think he realized early on that he could not fill all the holes in one season, and I don't think he wanted to try to fill the holes in one season. I think the other thing he did too, which I think was really good, was that he's trusting his instinct. Like, he's not playing to the fan base. The easy thing would have been, let's get offensive linemen, let's get defensive linemen, let's get a wide receiver, right? To get some of these big names that are out there. Like there was talk, let's get Saquon Barkley, right?
Yeah.
Let's get DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Like that would be electric for him.
Yeah, and they're still like, but look, it's the same thing. Like it's kind of like, you and I talk about the Bulls and the Sox and the Cubs, right? They make a big name signing to kind of calm the fan base, to give them what they want, and then we suck, and then we're stuck. Right? Right. So I think that DJ Moore was a great trade. I thought he was smart to hold out. Like, I thought he got a lot of value for the number one pick out of that. The verdict is still out on Chase Claypool. We still got to wait and see what happens with him. But it sounds like some of these other kids that they've drafted, look like they can come in and contribute right away. I was kind of interested. I was kind of surprised that he drafted a cornerback in the draft. I know you're trying to plan ahead, but you just drafted a cornerback last year.
Yep.
Right. You got a kid that's in his third year on the other side. You just drafted a rookie safety. With Gordon and Brisker, you drafted those two. You still got Bojack back there, right? So I was a little surprised that he did that, but he obviously has a master plan with that. But like I said,
our secondary is looks pretty good.
I think our back seven is solid.
Our linebacker crew is good. It's our defensive lineman.
I think even there's some depth in the back seven.
Yeah,
that we've got there. But like I said, I think the biggest thing was the fact that he didn't play to the fan base. Like, he got great value out of it, and amazingly, we're still under the cap. By I don't know, like it's a still ridiculous number. Like, we're under cap still like 20 million, 25 million, I think, is the number still. And I think he's signing people at the right contracts. Like, the easy thing right now to go sign Chase Young. right?
That's
And,
not
or
that's not
trade for
happening.
him,
Yeah,
trade
that's
for
not
him and get
happening.
get big money for him, right? But I think
Yeah.
he's being really smart
Well,
with
you
the
had,
financial side of it.
and they have to be smart because they got a lot of young players that they're going to end up having to pay down the road too. So doing that, that's good. That's going to handcuff the Bears from keeping their better younger players long term, which they don't
Yeah.
want to do. So I agree with you, but just looking at the depth chart here, one of my things that I'm concerned about actually is one Chase Claypool, how he comes out, and he was just put on that pup list, which was very confusing for
He got
what it.
taken off.
Yeah, I know, but it was for a day.
Yeah.
It was odd, and I don't know if I ever heard. I know listening to other broadcasters out there, they were kind of confused as to what the problem was. I don't know if we ever actually heard from it or heard from the Bears about it. And then Darnell Mooney has, he had surgery at the end of the season that
Yeah,
he's
he was a
planning.
limited participant today in practice.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, I mean, those are two big ifs, but you do have your wide receiver one, which is awesome. And our line looks better with having Darnell right there. And Tevin Jenkins, hopefully not having any kind of drama in the beginning of the year like he did last year and the
Well,
previous
look,
year.
I think last year, coming in with a new coach, coming in, new regime, not exactly knowing what the plan is for you. Considering the last, with Nagy in there,
Mm-hmm.
like not knowing, what was going to be expected of him. Like whatever Eberflus did and whatever they did and said to him,
Mm-hmm.
like he's turned into a stud. He's turned into the guy that we drafted, that we expected to be like an all pro. It
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't surprise me if this year he ends up being an all pro this year, even though he's moving to the left side from the right side. But I think he's versatile enough that he can make that move. Um, but
I
like going back to the wide receiver core, like look, I think the kid to watch in that wide receiver core is Tyler Scott.
Oh, absolutely.
I watched that kid play at Cincinnati. Like okay, he didn't play against like the competition in the SEC or the Big Ten or the ACC, but
Either
he's
did
a
Ran-
solid
either
kid.
either did Randy Moss, man. He played at
Yeah, but
Marshall.
that kid is solid. Like that, and the fact that he's got Komet, he's got Mooney, he's got DJ Moore ahead of him,
Mm-hmm.
and Claypool. I
They
think it's
still
only
got.
going to help him because there's not going to be a lot of pressure on him to start.
You know what? Honestly, too, I'm curious if who's going to be kickoff and punt returner. Like our return teams, our special teams should be improved too with all this youth and the speed. So I'm curious if Velus Jones is going to take a step up, like in that area, like be that specialty guy, that third down guy, or is Tyler Scott going to take his place? I'm kind of interested in how that
Well,
unfolds.
well, first of all, the kickoff rules are so stupid now that you really don't need a kickoff returner anymore. You just need a guy that can fair catch at
Yeah,
this
and
point.
well, he didn't show that very well last year
Because
at
I
all.
think, did you see that where they changed the rule this year?
Go ahead, tell everybody.
So they changed the rule this year that if you on a kickoff, if you fair catch the ball anywhere inside of the 25, the ball will automatically be spotted at the 25.
Yeah,
So like
I don't
if
like
you
that.
fair catch, like what, so like if the ball is short, even and at like the 10, it's so tempting to run it out, right?
Yeah,
Because you think you can
absolutely.
get past the 25. Why bother? Right? Like you're gonna get
That's
the
a
ball at
dud.
the 25.
I don't like the rule. I think it's
No, I
dumb.
don't like it either.
Here's why.
Look, I think the good thing is that Velus Jones or Tyler Scott, like they're gonna have to compete for that position. I
Yeah,
think
there's
if Velus Jones wants to stay on the team, that's the only way he stays on the team.
correct, and our defense obviously doesn't have the depth that we would like. So I mean, I think that's like injuries are going to be a big part of the Bears' record this year. If they have injuries on their defensive side of the ball,
Well,
we
I
may
think on the
struggle.
secondary, we're young on the secondary, but we drafted a couple. We drafted a linebacker. We drafted, I think, a safety and a cornerback.
I'm
And
excited about the hits coming up.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have, it'll take a little bit of time for the rookies to get adjusted, but I think we're gonna have some speed, and I think we're gonna have some depth in the secondary. The defensive line is just a bunch of guys. Like it's a bunch of no one stands out per se. But
Well,
like
I'm
hopefully
curious
Dominic
how.
Robinson
Yeah,
takes a huge
exactly.
step forward.
That's what I've been hearing. They're excited about Dominique.
Yeah.
They're very excited actually about their Pickens and Dexter too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and
right now
I
they're
think Billings
second.
is going to make a difference. I think DeMarcus Walker is going to make a difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Dexter supposedly is a beast coming out of Florida, right? That guy supposedly is supposed to be a beast, I think. So,
Yeah,
um,
he's supposed to be more of a run blocker than
which is what you want. You
Yeah.
want those guys to occupy the guys up front so that your linebackers and secondary can make plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So look, I think I think we're going to be okay, but the one spot is always as it is every year. We just don't have any depth as the offensive line. If one guy goes down,
Yeah, both our lines. Honestly, I mean, I'm worried about both of them, but
yeah, I'm not as worried about the defensive line. Honestly, like I think that they drafted enough there that there's depth. I mean, look, we signed a 7-year veteran guy today on the offensive line, and we cut a rookie. And supposedly this guy's only made one start in his 7-year career.
by the
So
way,
it's not like he has a lot of experience, right?
I'm going to interrupt your dialogue here. This was Justin Fields.
We just got banned. Thanks. That copyright just right there, just the music.
Just that little bleep.
Yeah.
Wide receiver number 1 right there.
Yeah. I think that 1-2 connection is going to be pretty solid, right?
So what I heard from day one from Eberflus was Fields was very accurate. The whole offensive team was clicking. They seemed really smooth for a first day. We heard nothing like that in the beginning of last year. That's a great.
Look, I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare last year to this year because.
Oh, come on.
Look, Getsy was a brand new offensive coordinator to Justin Fields. Justin Fields is just learning the offense. He's learning the terminology. He's learning the plays just like everybody else. This offseason, he had all offseason to work on the same plays, the same terminology. Now he's teaching the other guys and the other wide receivers the plays. Like he's able to go in and teach DJ Moore, hey, this is the route. This is what we're looking for.
They had
last year, he's trying to figure it out himself.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's just a good sign that right off the bat, first day.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think it's a good sign. I just don't think it's fair to compare to
I will compare them to whoever I want to compare them to.
Of course you are.
Okay. Jesus, man.
So here's the other thing I was going to ask you about.
Yesterday
they made a comment. I think it was Ryan Poles made the comment. Like, look, you set the bar high, for great teams. Like you set the expectations high for great teams, and that's what they're doing this year.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of that comment?
I think it's exactly what you want from your GM and for hopefully a winning organization that he's trying to develop. I think that he's put some pieces together where you could start to see some growth, and maybe not this year, but God, I hope they're close to 7-9 win season this year at least, and possibly looking at a wild card. And then next year they should be in the playoffs regardless. This year I'm not positive about it, but he's trying to set the organization up for success. So I like it.
Shouldn't you think we as Bear fans shouldn't set the same high expectation? Like, shouldn't we expect the playoffs this year?
Just like you said about last year to this year, that's a huge jump. I mean, do other teams do it? Yeah, they do.
I'm just saying, based off of just taking this team, at face value this year, right? And the work they've put into it and the expectations the front office has on this
Time
team.
will tell. Time will tell. I mean, I don't. Yeah, of course. Like we all come into new seasons. Well, we're both Cubs and Sox fans too. Wait till next season. I mean, yeah, I'm excited, right? But kind of
But that's different. Like you go into,
being
you're excited
realistic.
about the season, but you don't, for Cubs and Sox fans, like you don't expect maybe you have set expectations at the beginning of the year,
I think as a
right?
Cubs
But I
fan,
mean,
we've started to.
but that's the same hope you have every year as a baseball fan, right? You hope
Well,
every year. You hope every year.
I mean, honestly, how many playoffs have the Bears been in the last 20 years?
Well,
Not a
under
ton. So
Nagy, they
like,
made it what 3 or 4 times.
yeah, so not a ton. I mean, like what? I don't know. It's similar to what we've had as a Cubs fan base.
I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah,
you and
I
I are
don't
going
know.
to do a video soon on going over the schedule like we did last year, and we'll set
Yeah, we're gonna
our
go over our
predictions for the team, right?
yeah.
And then the last thing let's talk about today. Let's talk about Cole Kmet.
Yeah. Nah.
Cole Kmet signing a huge extension today.
Yep.
So
I'm just gonna
what'd you think
flash
of the
this stuff
signing?
up. Well, I think it's great. I know we've been down on Cole Kmet a little bit. Because I mean, look at these stats from his first 3 seasons: 28 receptions, 243 yards. Then he went up to 60, 612 yards, but 0 TDs that year. And this next year, his receptions went down. But then again, I guess like you said, the use of the offense was a little different. But he had 7 touchdowns. That was tied for third in the NFL for the amount of touchdowns by a tight end. He's got a lot of skills. He's a good blocking tight end as well. And he's going to be paid, a decent amount for the next 3 years. Probably, I think, around 10th or 11th of tight ends in football, maybe. How about you?
Okay. I thought it was a good signing. I'm a little surprised that I guess I don't know how contracts necessarily work in these things, right? But I'm glad they locked him up at the beginning of the year. That way he doesn't have to play with that on his head,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there's other guys I think you also could have extended also, right?
Yeah, and I've heard that they're talking about extending Jalen Johnson and one other dude. I can't think of.
I think Darnell Mooney's up at the end of the year too.
Yes, it was Darnell Mooney. So
Right.
these were the top 10 salary earners for tight ends prior to his signing.
Okay.
So I don't remember exactly what the totals were. Do you? Wasn't it 3 years, 30 million?
I think it was something around that. Oh, it's actually a little more than that, I think. But he got a ton of money up front. Like I think he got 20 million in the first year.
Okay, but he's all right. So average wise,
it's averaging about right. I think the average comes out to a little bit either
probably
over
around,
a little under 10.
So he's around 9, 10 here.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look just last year at stats, I'm going to show you that real quick. He was where are we? Here we go. Obviously, Travis Kelce, outstanding dude. Where did Travis Kelce go to school again? Do you know? Because he went to a smaller school, I thought.
Click on his name there to show you.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I have no idea. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, Cincinnati, man.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Jesus.
I knew that.
that. But you look at the tight ends here in this group, in terms of who do you, I think of Kelce. I used to, Kittle, Mark Andrews. I think of those guys as the top 3 tight ends, honestly. And then Kels had 12 touchdowns. See, Kmet was tied for third between him and Johnson. But, his production in terms of receptions is just a little lower.
But I mean, look, if you look at it, number 9, Dawson Knox played with Josh Allen,
I know.
right? And he had more receptions than that. Dallas Goedert played with Jalen Hurts,
Mm-hmm.
has less yards and less receptions, right? Um, you know, so I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, and you look at the guys above him, right? I mean, TJ Hawkinson split time last year between Detroit and Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taysom Hill is just a all utility type of guy. So I don't know if
Yeah.
I guess that's his position, but I don't know if that's fair to kind of
Yeah, I don't think
compare him in
that's fair
there,
to put
right?
him in there. No.
Right. And then look, Kelsey and Kittle are the cream of the crop,
Yep.
right? So if you
So,
take out Taysom Hill in there, right, he's top 6,
I know.
almost top 5,
Yeah. So
basically.
now it's going to be interesting to see what his production is with having the wide receiver core that we have. So I'm just interested in, and you heard Justin Fields saying he wants to be the first 4,000-yard quarterback for the Bears. What'd you think about that?
I think that's great. I think that's setting great expectations. Like, he wants to throw the ball,
Amen, bro.
like I think he feels confident enough in the receivers and in the passing game, and most importantly, his offensive line, to feel like he's going to be upright long enough to make the throws.
Upright.
You know, I
Well,
think out of that,
we ended up upright on the show, our first show in a while.
yeah. Well, let's see. Let's wait and see what happens. So we'd love to hear what you guys think. What you guys think about this? What do you think about Bears, the offseason, kind of your expectations? We'll look at the comments, and then hopefully we'll comment them on the next show.
So
next
YouTube,
time we put one out there.
So comment on YouTube or at Windy City Dig on Twitter.
It's X.
Oh,
it's not Twitter anymore.
It's Twitter on your app on your phone.
It's Xing.
But it's X. But it's
you
X.
call it X. I think it's called X's now.
Yeah, I just hate it. But
so,
all right,
get
cool.
the hang of it. Maybe even Facebook. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks Vic. Nice job. After a significant time off, we'll see you guys next time. Peace,
love,
and digits.
Boom.